Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is really a historic day as Latvia joins the NATO alliance in 2004 and enhanced forward presence really determines and demonstrates a commitment of the NATO in protecting and defending all and any member of NATO against any potential aggression, and that also proves the quick ability of NATO to react swiftly on any potential adverse and hostile action outside our borders. And we would like to thank the NATO nations participating and joining the battle multinational battalion from Canada, Albania, Italy, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia and Spain to work together shoulder by shoulder, sending message of solidarity to the walls of NATO. And both, not only in Latvia but also in other Baltic states, we will have joint military exercise taking place in addition to the troops located here. Of course, we are aimed at providing and ensuring the principle of deterrence by strengthening the defensibility of every and all the members of NATO and providing stability and security in our region. The battle groups within the framework of enhanced forward presence are quite little in numbers, are of defensive nature, and are established and created within the framework of the commitments and responsibilities and liabilities according and in compliance with international law. We will do our best to prepare and to host of high standards the enhanced NATO forward presence of NATO in Latvia, and according and compliant funding and investment is made in restoring infrastructure and renovating the infrastructure. We are also building up our defense, and the defense spending of Latvia in 6 months will reach 2% of GDP, and Latvia is among those states and members of the alliance, providing that commitment to be fulfilled and homework being fulfilled in investing and contributing to raising potential of our defense, and Latvia will continue participating in international peacekeeping operations, providing its solidary contribution to ensuring peace not only in our region but also elsewhere in hot points of the world. Therefore, Latvian soldiers participate in different international operations taking place both close and far away abroad, so that peace and stability would last and rule forever in the world.
Mr. Stoltenberg, the floor is yours.
President, Ministers, it is a great pleasure to be here together with you today. We have just welcomed the arrival of Canadian forces which will lead the multinational battle group here in Latvia. So thank you, Minister Sajjan, for Canada's leading role in this deployment. And thank you, President Vējonis and Minister Bergmanis, for Latvia hosting this battle group. Thank you. These forces send a very clear message. NATO stands as one. Troops from Canada, Albania and Italy, Spain, Poland and Slovenia, alongside Latvian troops. And these forces are just one part of a bigger picture. NATO has also deployed battle groups in Estonia, Lithuania and Poland, altogether more than 4,000 troops, well-trained and well-equipped. These battle groups serve a common purpose: to defend our alliance and deter aggression. They are proof of the enduring strength of the transatlantic bond, soldiers from North America and Europe serving together to keep our alliance safe. More Canadian troops are on the ground in Europe than at any time since the early 1990s. I'm happy to see this strong Canadian presence here today. Our forces are here to prevent conflict and protect the peace. We have deployed these forces in response to the changed security environment, including Russia's military build-up in the Baltic region and beyond. At the same time, NATO continues to seek meaningful dialogue with Russia, especially when tensions are high. Dialogue is important to increase transparency, predictability, and to reduce risks. I'm very proud of what I see here today. It is only a year since Allied leaders decided to enhance our defense and deterrence in the eastern part of the alliance. Today, we see the results. NATO is delivering on defense and deterrence, and it will continue to deliver peace and security. Solidarity is our strength, all for one and one for all. Thank you.
Bergmanis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is not even a year since, following our invitations, a historical decision was taken in NATO's summit in Warsaw to deploy the multinational battle group to Latvia. And today, I am deeply honored to welcome the troops on the ground. Latvia is a reliable NATO ally, which is proven over years fighting shoulders to shoulders with our allied soldiers in international operations, preserving the peace in other regions. After Russia's invasion in Ukraine, and in the light of today's security situation, this decision is a clear assurance that Latvia does not have to stand alone against the security challenges. This NATO commitment clearly demonstrated cohesion and resolve to defend all population of the alliance. And this is a proof that NATO stands as one, and Article 5 commitment is rock solid. Latvian armed forces, shoulder to shoulder with our allies from Albania, Canada, Italy, Poland, Slovenia, and Spain, will preserve peace and defend our country and society. Day after day, our troops will exercise together and will be ready to respond effectively and consistently to any possible aggression. I can assure that our battle groups is in a good hands, and Latvia is committed to provide high-standard host nation support. Together, we will defend our people, our country, and our values. Thank you.
Mr. Sajjan, the floor is
Great,
yours.
thank you. Mr. President, Secretary General, Mr. Bergmanis. One, first of all, I'd like to say is that Canada is extremely proud to be leading the battle group here in Latvia. I also want to say thank you to our host nation, Mr. President, for the wonderful hospitality and the tremendous work that even within a year, how quickly we have progressed. This is going to provide a wonderful opportunity for our soldiers to be able to train together to create interoperability. But let's also, the serious message that we're sending here, it's about defense and deterrence, that NATO stands as one and Canada will stand alongside. As our new defense policy has recently been released, that will remain strong in Canada, secure in North America, and engaged in the world. And multilateralism is extremely important to our government, and we stand alongside NATO. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Please name yourself.
Channel 4. Probably a question to Mr. Stoltenberg. So, as we know, the United States are sending 600 more troops to Latvia prior to Zapad military drills in Russia this September. Should we expect additional troops from NATO countries in the near future, let's say in a couple of months or in a half year? Thank you.
What we have seen today is that for the first time NATO has decided to have a persistent presence of troops in Latvia with a multinational battle group led by Canada and then many other NATO allies contributing forces. The size of this battle group is around 1,000. Then, of course, there will be times with exercises and with NATO allied forces where we can see more troops. But we don't plan to increase the numbers of troops as part of the battle group. We think we have a measurable, defensive, but also sufficient presence through the battle group, and I think the battle group sends a very clear message about NATO solidarity, NATO presence, and that an attack on all will be that an attack on one ally will be regarded as an attack on the whole alliance.
Hello, my name is Ādaži. I'm from Latvian Public Television. Question for Mr. Stoltenberg, I guess. We know that this is a peacekeeping operation, but in case, if during this time there is some kind of aggression from Russia, will these soldiers actually defend Latvia?
Yes, but let me underline that we don't see any imminent threat against any NATO ally, including Latvia. And it is important to understand that the battle group in Latvia is only a part of a bigger picture. We have in total 4 battle groups. Then, of course, we have the National Home Defense Forces. And then we have also increased the readiness and the preparedness of our forces so we can easily reinforce. We can reinforce Latvia and other countries quickly, because we have tripled the size of the NATO response force to 40,000 troops, and we have established a spearhead force, a brigade, which can move within a few days. So if there is a need for reinforcement, NATO is able to reinforce very quickly. We have also the air policing presence. We have increased our naval presence in the Baltic Sea, and we have established the NATO force integration units, the NFIUs, which are small headquarters in the 3 Baltic countries and in Poland, that are key to strengthen the link between national home defense forces and NATO forces, and also NATO reinforcements, preparing for exercises, improving planning, and improving the coordination between home defense forces and NATO forces. So the battle group is important. The battle group sends a very strong message of NATO solidarity, NATO unity, and multinational presence, but it's only one part of a bigger picture where we are able to reinforce if needed.
One more question.
Hello, my name is Ādaži. I'm from Reuters news agency. I have a question to Mr. Stoltenberg. We know that there's going to be huge military exercises held by Russia in September, Zapad. What do you think? What are Russia's plans really, when it comes to the Baltic states? Thank you.
Again, we don't see any imminent threat against any NATO allied country. But what we have seen is a more assertive Russia. We have seen a significant military buildup, also in the Baltic region. And we have seen Russia being willing to use military force against neighbors, as we have seen in Georgia and in Ukraine. And that's the reason why NATO is responding with the biggest reinforcement of our collective defense since the end of the Cold War, with the deployment of the 4 battle groups, but also the increased readiness and preparedness of our forces, as I just mentioned. We will, of course, follow and monitor closely the Russian exercise Zapad. We call on Russia to be transparent related to the Zapad exercise, because that's part of what we seek in our dialogue with Russia, is transparency, predictability, and measures to achieve risk reduction. And of course, it is important to misunderstand, or to avoid any misunderstanding, to avoid any miscalculations. And therefore, we are now looking into the possibility of holding a meeting in the NATO-Russia Council, where we'll ask or call on Russia to brief on the Zapad exercise. And at the same time, we are calling on Russia to be transparent on the Zapad exercise in line with the Vienna document, which requires transparency, international observation of these kind of exercises. So we will follow and monitor closely, but at the same time, we have NATO presence in this region, which enables us to also send a very clear message.
Thank you. That concludes our press conference.
Thank you.